Welcome to Let Us Book, the wrestling podcast in which we go mano a mano with the wrestling business. My name is John Sanchez, and usually there's someone else here doing the podcast with me, but today, because the day I'm uploading this is the 1 year anniversary of Let Us Book, I kind of want to do a solo podcast. I'm just going to be going over NXT Takeover Toronto and Survivor Series, and what's going to be happening after year 1 of Let Us Book. So, I'm just gonna start off the bat say I liked both Takeover and Survivor Series. I thought they were both good cards. One of them being better, but I'm not putting down the other one. So let's just start with what I felt like was the better card, and that's Takeover Toronto. So it started off with Bobby Roode versus Ty Dillinger, and Bobby Roode gets a win. I mean, it was a great match. It's great to see Ty Dillinger be so over. I mean, this is a man who was teaming with Jason Jordan, and they weren't over. And now to see Jason Jordan with American Alpha, Ty Dillinger being so over, having the perfect 10 gimmick beat, incredibly over. It's really great to see the homegrown talent just come onto their own. I mean, it's a shame that Bobby Roode's the one that gets the win, but it's the right person to get the win. So, Ty Dillinger, I hope he gets used more as a bigger face in NXT, or if not, if he gets called up, I hope he becomes like a solid mid-card champion, because he should be holding either the IC title or the US title by now. I mean, I think he's ready. I think he got his character, his gimmick over. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. He's not like the best wrestler ever, but if you need someone to go in a wrestling match, I think Ty Dillinger is like one of those like people that you just put in a match and like carry the match or try to put the other person over, because he can do that. I think Ty Dillinger is probably the most underutilized wrestler in NXT right now, and I hope he's used either more or gets the call up at last. The second match was the Authors of Pain versus TM61, and Authors of Pain winning it. You have to push that new heel tag team. It's so weird seeing that when I was watching this match with my friends. Like the fact that there's like the cage suspended above the ring. Like, I don't picture NXT as a gimmick heavy promotion. I just see it's wrestling, and if there's a gimmick in one of the matches, it's because it's built up. And of course they did build up like Paul Ellering just being like a constant distraction for the other team and constantly helping out the Authors of Pain achieve victory. But like a cage above a ring, I mean, I'm glad TM61 they're able to pull off these amazing spots using the crane that's holding the cage up, and I'm glad it showed them like they were somewhat on par with the Authors of Pain, but the match it felt so gimmicky, and it didn't help that like the next night at Survivor Series I see the commercial for that cage, like that crane cage toy. I'm like, man, like that's exactly what I saw on Takeover. Like, you made a match and now you're selling a toy of it. Like, I wish like they just ban Paul Ellering. I didn't want to see him like behind a cage above the ring, but overall it was a good match. It pushed a heel team ready to take the championship, and this led to the next match, which was Gargano and Ciampa versus Wilder and Dawson, in a 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT Tag Team match. Wow. I mean, I went to NXT Brooklyn this year, and DIY versus The Revival was the match of the night. That's no knock against Bayley versus Asuka. There's no knock against Joe versus Nakamura 1. Like, this is not knocking down the Takeover Brooklyn card, but like Gargano and Ciampa stole that show, and like even though they lost, they stole that show. I remember all the near falls. So like when they announced 2 out of 3 falls, like this match is gonna have probably 3 times more the near falls than the first match did, and it's probably gonna steal the show again. And this match, it's in my top 5. I don't know if I put it at I know it's not 1 or 2. I don't know if it's 3, but like it's in that top 5. It's either 5, 4, or 3. So I'm just gonna be working throughout the year. There's still two more events coming up, so if they produce match of the year candidates, we'll see how it goes. But like, it's definitely my top 5. Gargano and Ciampa. If they didn't win, I was hoping like a Ciampa heel turn. But since they won, this is like the best thing that's happened in NXT. in a while because seeing a team that put on not only a tag team match in the previous takeover, like a match of the year contender as well, but also doing a singles match against each other, like Ciampa versus Gargano in the Cruiserweight Classic. That was a 5-star match as well because of the story they told, and they told an amazing story in this 2 out of 3 falls. 2-1, Gargano and Ciampa get the belts at last, and hopefully, I mean, I think the Revival have like a rematch clause, so we'll probably get one either on the NXT or the Rumble NXT, but hopefully Revival gets called up as well, and they start taking like, I feel like they're gonna go to Raw because Raw's tag teams, even though they have like some of the best tag teams, already have Cesaro and Sheamus, Enzo and Cass, New Day, Bullet Club. I mean, their division just feels weak at times. Hopefully, the Revival goes up there and they just build up this division again. Next, we had Asuka versus Mickie James, which I'm surprised how great Mickie James can still go. I don't want her I don't want her to get bouts immediately, like either in SmackDown or Raw, but to work programs with either Charlotte, Sasha, Bailey, Becky, Alexa. I mean, she can still go and she can still put on a great story. Her and Asuka was an amazing match. Asuka winning by submission, retaining the belt, was a smart play, and the ending of the match told a great story because it's not Asuka being the face like she was with Bailey. She's transitioning into a heel right now. She's gloating over winning. She holds that belt up with pride, and I think that right there is setting up heel Asuka versus a face Ember Moon. Maybe, who knows? It's probably gonna be for Mania weekend. But Asuka showing it's like the best thing in that division right now, and hopefully they're building up their stars to overtake her so she can get called up, and there's nothing feeling empty in this division. Okay, now for the main event, Joe versus Nakamura for the NXT Championship. I love Joe versus Nakamura 1, and I was hoping maybe like they'll ratchet the intensity up, like they'll take that intensity even further than they did in the first one, and they did. I saw a lot of stiff knees, a lot of stiff shots. One of my favorite Nakamura knees is from Nakamura versus AJ Styles at Wrestle Kingdom, where he just drives his knee into the back of AJ's neck, and he did it to Joe. I was like, there we go. That's Nakamura I know. That's Nakamura I love. I'm glad he's finally starting to like become even more vicious, like he was in New Japan. And to go against Joe, the person who can also match that viciousness, is perfect. Joe winning the title again, becoming the first ever 2-time NXT champion, is amazing. I love Joe. I'm never bored with him. I think he does his greatest work as a heel, winning as a heel by doing a low blow and like not just a low blow and then rolling up, but a low blow, then doing the slam on the steel steps, then a muscle buster, showing that I'm gonna do whatever I want to get my title back. I love Joe. I hope we get to see that third match. I feel like Nakamura wins it back in Japan, or unless the steel cage is the one in Australia. Whichever one has the steel cage, I feel like that's when Nakamura wins it, and I hope it's even a harder hitting match than the one in Takeover because, wow, this match was just amazing. Like this card, I loved it a lot. It started off strong, but once you hit that 2 out of 3 falls, it just goes up faster and faster, and it becomes one of the best specials of the year. I was at Takeover Brooklyn, and this easily beat Brooklyn in my opinion. And Brooklyn was a really great card. So out of 5 stars, I gotta give this like a 4.5. If it didn't, I feel like it's that Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match with the Authors of Pain and TM61. Like if it was just like a straight match, I feel like this probably would have been a perfect 5-star card, but it just felt a little bit off. Bobby Roode versus Ty Dillinger wasn't the greatest match, but it did establish a great heel and a great face. DIY getting the belts was amazing. Asuka transitioning into that heel champion was great, and Joe regaining that championship as a monster heel is great, and making history being a 2-time NXT champion. It's just fantastic. It's one of my favorite cards. I'm probably going to look back at that 2 out of 3 falls and Joe Nakamura match over and over again. Both of them are probably going to be contenders for match of the year for me, and definitely on my top 5. Let's go with Survivor Series. I'm not going to talk about the pre-show because nothing really important happened in the pre-show. But let's just start off with the main card, and we had the first match was Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, the 5-on-5 elimination match for the women's division, and you had Team Raw winning it with Charlotte and Bailey beating out Becky Lynch. I mean, I'm glad Becky was the last one in SmackDown. I'm glad Bailey was the one who got the win. It's just pushing her as this mega face for the Raw division. And Charlotte doing that sneak attack at the end was great. It sets up the feud. It sets up her as being a heel. Everyone should hate Charlotte. He's doing great. Nia Jax submitting to Becky Lynch. I don't know if I can see that as a positive or a negative because it took a lot to get Nia to tap out, and for it to be the SmackDown champion just proves that she is the champion. Like Becky is the best in that brand. So for her to get the belt is great. Also, Natalia being in the match because Carmella jumped Nikki. I mean, it sets up. It still continues that feud, and it shows that even though there's brand loyalty, there's still some people who just look out for themselves. And I'm glad Carmella is coming along, being a great heel, along with Alexa Bliss. I mean, like there were some great spots. Seeing Nia Jax do the double suplex was amazing. There's really nothing else in this match, but it was a great match. I think Raw should have been the one that wins, even though I'm mostly a SmackDown fan. But Raw does have like minus Alicia Fox, no offense to her, but they do have like the better wrestlers in prestige because of Charlotte, Sasha, Bailey, and Nia. Like Nia, she doesn't have any belts, but like she has like this look and being pushed as a monster heel, something that while SmackDown has heels, there's no like monster heel for that division. Like hopefully if Asuka does get called up in the future, as much as Raw needs these female wrestlers, SmackDown needs a heel, monster heel or monster face. Regardless, like there should be monsters on each division. And I hope Asuka goes to SmackDown, but Raw getting the win was pretty good. Next we had The Miz versus Sami Zayn. I love the match until the ending. Miz retaining. Like Zayn, like I don't understand like why wrestlers let go of holds or submissions when they hear a bell ring and they can clearly see the wrestlers not saying I quit, the wrestlers not tapping out, and the ref is still just looking at the wrestler and not signaling for the bell. I don't understand why you would release the hold then. It's like my one complaint with the match. It was a good match. I would have wanted Zayn to win it, but if somehow Zayn gets traded to SmackDown, they continue this feud, I'll be okay with it. Miz is a perfect heel champion. I may not like the guy a lot, but I have to respect him putting on some of the best heel work he's done in his entire career. I think this is better than his heel championship run with going against John Cena at WrestleMania 27. And that Intercontinental Championship feels important when it's Miz and Ziggler. And if you put Zayn in that, it will probably just be even more important. Okay, so next we had the 10-on-10 tag team elimination match. Raw beat SmackDown. Really surprised at the first two eliminations. Like not Tyler Breeze and Fandango getting eliminated that fast, but after that, seeing the New Day get eliminated, I was like, whoa, okay. So I thought Raw was gonna win this one, but when New Day got eliminated, I thought maybe they're not gonna win this one. Maybe it will be SmackDown. A lot of great spots. Gallows and Anderson being like amazing heels, getting a lot of eliminations. American Alpha, that one spot with Chad Gable was like just push American Alpha. I know like I've seen what they're doing with American Alpha on SmackDown now, and I feel like they're not going to get the championship shot, but like push that team. They're ready. Like they've been ready for the beginning of the year. Just push them for the belts. If not, like hopefully there's a great story of why they're not getting the belts yet. Raw's tag team, like I'm glad Sheamus and Cesaro are the ones that got the win. I'm glad they're pushing that team, but if you're just gonna keep the belts on New Day, like it really doesn't matter. Like I love New Day, I love Biggie, I love Kofi Kingston, I love Xavier Woods, but they've been doing the same thing for a year, and while I still love them, you either take the belts off them and make them tell a different story, or like turn them heel or something. Because I'm just getting kind of bored with New Day a little bit. Like I still like seeing them, but if it's just the same thing, winning by by cheating ways. Either turn them heel or just take the belts off them finally. Um, Next, we had Brian Kendrick beating Kalisto by DQ. I wanted Kalisto to win because the cruiserweight division is being really underutilized on Raw. All they do is just put them on like tag team, six man matches, triple threats. There's no stories, and when they try to put a story, it's some of the corniest writing you can believe. Like, I feel bad for T.J. Perkins. Like, I was never really high on T.J. Perkins. I wanted Ibushi to win the Cruiserweight Classic, but like, he is a great wrestler. He has charisma. He shouldn't be a face, in my opinion. He should be a heel. But like, he has charisma. He's athletic. He puts on some of the best moves. He can tell a story when he has to. And Kendrick was just so underutilized on Raw. Doesn't have the same kind of like viciousness that he had on the Cruiserweight Classic. I'm not saying I want to see a burning hammer, but I tried to show that like, this belt's mine. I need it. If I lose this belt, it's the worst thing that can happen. I don't see that with Kendrick. Baron Corbin causing the Q. I know it furthers the story with Kalisto, but I really wanted Kalisto to win. I know like, if Kalisto did win, you just kill the Corbin storyline, but Corbin can go and feud with someone else then. I just felt like it was a real misstep having Kendrick retain the belt. Like, unless they change how the writing is done for the cruiserweights, I feel like all goodwill earned from the Cruiserweight Classic is being wasted on Raw right now. They build up this division amazingly. Every wrestler felt like they can be champions whenever they need to. It's just they need to win the match. But now, like, it's just like, it feels like a Raw storyline, and that's one of my problems with it. So the 5-on-5 men's elimination match, SmackDown beating Team Raw. It was really surprising seeing that Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt getting the win. Shane taking that coast to coast into a spear. Like, I was really scared when he couldn't get up. You can tell that that's supposed to be his elimination, but they didn't go through with like the 1, 2, 3. Like, something was wrong. When you look online, you see Randy immediately going to Shane's wife and kids, telling it's alright, it's just a little nasty bump, but he'll be fine. It's great to see Orton. I know he had like a bad reputation before of what he used to do, but it's great to see like he's changing. He's this nice guy. He knows what it's like now that he has kids and a wife, and he wants to reassure him that Shane's fine. So that's like, good on you, Orton. That's great. AJ and Dean having that fighting between brands. That's great. Like, AJ not helping Dean when he was getting pinned, like not breaking up the pin. That was great. The best way to eliminate Braun Strowman was like, Ellsworth just holding his leg, making sure that he doesn't get into the ring. It was great. He got counted out. He wasn't looking weak, and he got his revenge right away, putting Ellsworth through a table. I mean, that's what Ellsworth's there for. He's there for either funny moments or to see someone smaller get punched. And like, he's doing his job great. Jericho and Owens sowing the seeds of a rivalry. Hopefully that's the Mania rivalry. Seeing the Shield reunion just for one moment. Seeing Roman and Rollins just like attacking security, helping their friend Dean Ambrose, and then doing that triple powerbomb on AJ onto a table. I mean, wow! Like, I marked out watching that. I mean, Roman being the last one on Team Raw. Well, I was gonna go like, is he gonna eliminate Randy and Bray? And Randy taking the spear, was a spear or Superman punch? I can't remember. And then Bray hitting Sister Abigail and getting the win. It's great. It's pushing the Y family. Something that I always say is, you keep establishing this as a heel stable, and they're supposed to be dominant, but they never dominate. They're always buried. They're always just put aside for someone else. It's great to see they're starting to build on Bray Wyatt, starting to build on Randy Orton being this heel turn. Hopefully, it's something that should last till Mania. If the story's right, it should pay off at Mania. And you see every storyline just be like right there, like Jericho Owens, Strowman with everyone else, Bray and Randy, Shane with AJ, Shane and with Dean, because he should hate what these two have done to their team. If they lost, it could have cost them big time. And Styles and Ambrose, obviously. So It's great to see that they're building storylines in these 5v5 matches. Hopefully next year, if not 3, I kind of want to see either the heavyweight titles be defended, the U.S. title be defended, the tag titles be defended, and the women's title. Like, you just need one. Like Jeff once said before, like 2006, was it 2006 or 2005? Yeah, 2005 Survivor Series, where it was just like one match where it's brand versus brand. That's all you need. You don't need to do all of these be Raw versus SmackDown. You just need one match and try to push every other division up further in each brand. So the main event. Now I was very conflicted with this main event. Like Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. The build-up has been amazing. This is a match I did not want. A match I was fearing that was going to be bad, but the build-up, fantastic. The sit-down interviews, Goldberg's promo when he came back, like, you're not only next, you're last. I thought that was fantastic. Had me hyped for this match. We get to the match. Brock comes out. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good. Then you get that amazing Goldberg entrance. Goldberg, to this day, is still one of my favorite entrances because it just feels the music, the chanting. You get to see him come from the dressing room and walk his way to the entrance. I mean, like, that just gets you pumped for a man's match. The match is just 1 minute and 26 seconds, and Goldberg just 2 spears, jackhammers, gets the win. I remember watching this, jaw dropped. I'm like, did they just squash Brock Lesnar? Did that really just happen? Wow. I was pissed off at first. I was like, how can you build up Brock Lesnar? You're just like, 1 minute 26, you just kill the man. It's not jobbing. It's just like when Brock beat Taker's streak, you created something else. You created another thing a wrestler should be aiming to break. And especially after what Brock did with Taker, like, he beat Taker, he killed Cena in that SummerSlam match, got the championship. He beat Taker again. He beat Rome. Like, he just like kept amassing this win streak. And even though like he will lose the championship, he didn't really lose it on his own. Like, he'll get DQ'd, he'll be interference by Money in the Bank. It just built up this streak. I know Taker kind of got the win back in SummerSlam, but it was tainted. And then he just like killed Taker in Hell in a Cell. So it kept building this monster. And you're wondering like which wrestler is gonna step up and finally beat him. And like, I thought Goldberg would have won with help of Shane, because like what Brock Lesnar did to Shane at SummerSlam with the F5, I thought it would be like revenge, making him lose. But like a clean win, just putting over Goldberg, amazingly strong. I was like, is this really where we're going with this? It took me a day to go like, but it still was cool to see like, this is what they should have done with Goldberg in 2003. They should have just pushed him super strong and just made him a monster, and you could have had a huge face. Instead, you just made Goldberg feel regular in his 2003 run, and now he just feels like that monster that he was in WCW. So hopefully they build up to him. I know he's in a Royal Rumble now. Hopefully he gets like an early number, like 5 or 6. He just goes on a warpath until like, I don't know, Brock is like 24 or something, and that sets up their rematch at Mania. I mean, there is money in that. I know people are upset with this. I was, but like after a while, I kind of like seeing that match. I kind of like seeing the entrance, and I'm still shocked. Obviously, the crowd in Toronto loved it. There was no boos. There were Goldberg chants, and the next night on Raw, you would think people would boo it, but no, people loved that result. People wanted that result. They didn't want like a fair, even match. They wanted Goldberg to steamroll Brock Lesnar. Now, people are probably going, well, that doesn't make sense. Brock's an MMA fighter. He could have killed, like, Goldberg's 50. I'm like, listen, like, in real life, yeah, sure, that makes sense. But kayfabe, remember, we're looking at this sport in kayfabe terms. Seeing Goldberg come back, seeing, like, the man have, like you said, one more jackhammer left in him, that's what we wanted. And that's what we got. Like, for once, like, we got something that we were promised, and we got it. Like, I know people wanted him to come back, but everyone's like, well, Brock's going to win. What if he didn't? And that's what we got now. Now we have a story like, Brock lost. What's this going to do to Brock? Is Brock going to, like, sulk? Or is Brock going to try to get his revenge and become even meaner than before? So, like, even though the match is 1 minute 26, so much better than the WrestleMania 20 match. So, like as a whole card, like there's a lot of moments I love in this. I love seeing the Shield reunion. I love seeing Chad Gable being thrown over the ropes. I love seeing the double suplex by Nia Jax. I love seeing Becky Lynch being put over strong. Zayn, like probably some of the best selling. Like there's a lot of things in this card that I like. Out of 5, I'll probably give it like a 3.5 out of 5. Like the 2 singles matches where there actually was immense stakes, they just did cop outs with DQs. Like I'm close to just doing a 3 out of 5, but like there's a lot of stuff that I do like about this card. A 3.5 out of 5 just feels fair. The thing that really pushes it over is that Goldberg thing. It's something like I'm gonna probably gonna be thinking it over, but for right now, I really do like that match, if you can call it a match. But it's really good. It's us having fun, like, and that's the one thing like I feel like I'm having a problem with wrestling. It's like sometimes they give us something fun, but like I just have this cynicism on it, and I'm just like, and that's what I want to address with this podcast. Like, usually once a week, I get me, my friends, Carlos and Jeff, or it's just Jeff, or it's just Carlos. We just talk wrestling, and lately it's just been really negative look on this wrestling, and I want to take a break on it. Like, I didn't do like a whole year of Let Us Book. Me and Chris started this last year, November. We tried to keep it going till January, and then like school, vacations, and all that just got in the way. We brought it back in March. We tried to do it on a weekly basis. We kept it going. We graduated. We had finals, and Chris is not here. He transferred to another college. Me and Jeff try to bring it back, and like we just kept trying to bring it back. And every time we do, like we have fun. We love talking wrestling. It's the one thing that we love doing a lot is talking wrestling. But like lately, I look at wrestling and I just go like, I feel like I have a negative output on this, and I don't want to have a negative output. Like I came back to wrestling because I wanted something fun. I wanted to have fun watching this. I have fun watching NXT. I have fun watching New Japan, but the main roster, like I started nitpicking on things. Maybe I feel like if I take a break, maybe like recharge, come back at it at Royal Rumble, maybe it'll be better. Maybe I'll have fun, especially with Royal Rumble time. That's WrestleMania season. That's when they have to like bring out their best guns and just put every storyline like on even terms. Like every storyline is important. Every storyline is moving something forward. So I want to take this little break. I don't want to end this podcast because I actually like talking wrestling. I like putting the work and putting these videos up on a weekly basis. And I want to just keep talking about wrestling, and hopefully people listen to me talk about wrestling. So the plan with Let Us Book is I'm gonna take a good 2 months off until like before the week before Royal Rumble. There should be an episode of preview prediction on what Royal Rumble will be doing, and then the week following like what happened at Royal Rumble and the takeover before Royal Rumble. And like I want to like restructure this, try to find a way, because me and the guys usually record an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I just release like 10, 20 minutes because a lot of it's just rambling. We go into different conversations, and we go like, how do we get from here to here? And I want to try to fix that. I want to try to keep this linear. So 2 months, and then I'll bring back Let Us Book, and we'll try to see where we can go from there. By then, hopefully, there's other things on this channel besides just wrestling podcasts. So, hey, like if you like this, I might just like do one more video before the year's over of like my top 10 matches, my spots, favorite wrestlers, and just release that. But overall, it's gonna be a little bit of break on wrestling. I like it, but I feel like it's not like how I used to feel years ago. I want to recharge, come back, and redo this podcast in a better way, much cleaner way, hopefully, and a way that we can produce it on a weekly basis, and it can be released on every week, same time. So that's it. That's plans forward for year 2 of Let Us Book. Hopefully, more people are listening to this by then. Not like that matters. I like just putting these videos up there anyway. So that's year 1 of Let Us Book. That's also Takeover Toronto, Survivor Series right there. If you like the video, share with your friends. Press like, subscribe to the channel. Try to get more people watching this. If you didn't like the video, put a dislike. I'm not telling you that you have to like this, but the more people who listen to us, the more likes, or dislikes, the more subscribers, the more we can try to put more content up, especially in year 2. I want to do like different things like top 10s, commentary over matches, commentary over pay-per-views. I want to put more emphasis on New Japan, Ring of Honor, just like not just the main roster of WWE, not just NXT who won takeovers are there. I want to put more up there. So subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. If you want to see some of our predictions or reviews of pay-per-views, you can right there in the video on the bottom. My name is John Sanchez, and let us book. Pause.